Okay, it says I'm live now. It says I'm live. Hi, everybody. So can tell us what you can see and what you can hear.
I'm going to look up at it on my phone while we're talking.
I can see Emily. And hear myself back, which is irritating.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear all of that? It's gross.
Yep.
Yeah. Anybody typing? Oh, God. Why is life so hard?
I know, we're trying to be YouTube people and it's just not, happening. Why?
Oh, hi, Steph. Steph's the first one back on the horse. Oh, why is it when you're 19 and you've got great boobs, everything just seems to work on the internet for you? Always works for those chicks.
Yeah.
Did you see that young actor who, I can't remember what his name is. He's one of those young actors with the strange names where their names just seem to have too many consonants or too many vowels. I can't remember which one, but he did a burst of selfies on Insta just like 2 nights ago because he didn't realize they were going straight to Insta. And they were all shirtless. He was like trying to take one great shirtless selfie, but he did a whole burst of them and they all went.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I find it really, I was sitting opposite some girls on the train. I was going into the city for a meeting and, high school girls and there's just no sort of self-consciousness. And I'm not saying this is good or bad, but just taking the selfies of themselves, they're just out there. Just everything's a selfie. Like I feel like I'm of the generation where it's just weird. Like I feel weird.
Do you know, I remember seeing my friend Leanne take a selfie and we took the piss out of her so hard. Now, this could only be 10 years ago. And the reason she was taking a selfie was because she was wearing a hat and it was at work and she was just doing it just quietly around a corner and she wanted to see what that hat looked like. And we sprung her and she was so humiliated and we just went crazy. We thought it was the funniest thing we'd ever seen a human do. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I just feel weird and I thought I was going to end up in the background of their selfie. I was going to be in the background of 15 or 16.
I know. And I never look good in them either. I always just look like a pumpkin head. Hey, Aaron. Emily sounds like she's yelling behind a door. Oh, Steph.
I'm sorry. I don't know what to do.
Good feedback though, Steph. Good. Thank you. Keep it coming.
Is this better at all? Must be my house.
Or maybe you're just coming through because you are actually just on my Skype. Oi. Is that better? Okay, now can we hear her at all? Talk. Now we can't even hear her at all. You know how when you do that? Hang on. Talk again. God, it's just bad. It's just old ladies trying to make computers go. God, I might as well get my mother up here. See if she can blow a hand off with the laptop. Now I can't hear you again. Oh, God, Steph. I have to get Louie in here in a minute. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at myself in the monitor like Oprah. Remember how Oprah used to always do that when it came back from ads? And she'd be sitting up in her seat and she'd always look at herself in the monitor and pull her top down. Oh, this is a disaster. I can't hear. Oh, man. Okay. We're just going to have to talk to the typers. Can you hear us, typers? Oh. There we go, you're back. Oh, don't even. Don't even. Oh, God, I'm so endlessly interesting. I was just thinking the other day of all the stupid shit I've tweeted over the years, and I thought, why would any of that be news? I remember tweeting once that Ryan Reynolds should be in every movie. Like, I've tweeted heaps of stupid shit. Why would any of it be news? Anyway, let's forget that ever happened. Thanks, everybody. You love the new time slot. Your kids are already in bed, his lioness. And can we talk about your handle, by the way? His lioness. That's so sexy. Gosh, I'm envious of that. Wow. My kids are not in bed. Mr. Louis is next door playing TikTok or something. Yeah.
My daughter's somewhere and the other one's at a party.
And you've got to go back and pick up from the party tonight, right?
Yeah, I do. My husband's working, so he's no use to me tonight, really.
Are they ever? Apologies to everyone for that. But what about, is there any security at the party? Do you remember that lady we spoke to, about party security? Have you ever had a big party at your place yet? I'm gonna have to go and get my better headphones. I'm sorry, Louis gave me the shittest headphones. Chat amongst yourselves. Louis, worst headphones.
Why are you putting it black?
They can't hear it.
I know. It's because they're old.
So, bit of a problem. Definitely middle-aged ladies not actually knowing what we're doing and forgetting we're actually on live stream, which is even worse.
Oh, that's
Michelle, I'm a disaster.
What's happened?
I can't even get on the YouTube channel to see what questions people are asking.
Oh, okay, I can do that. I broke it again, Steph. Now we can hear Emily. That's great. I can hear you without headphones. If it's not echoing, that'd be great. The reason we didn't have long to set up tonight, apart from your party drop-offs, we've been recording new episodes today, haven't we, Emily?
Yes, we have, and it was really, really good day.
We've been so industrious. We had a recording day last Saturday and another one today.
Yeah, we've been very busy.
Yeah.
Keeping people up with content.
Yeah, I know. It's been full on and amazing. Amazing ones today, including the one that we'll upload this week, which is wow, gosh, such a special one today, Emily. And I have to say thank you to you and thank you to Vicky Petratus for helping us do the one that we did today, and Neil Mitchell, for those of you who are in Melbourne. I believe we'll be talking to this family on Monday morning as well. Oh, gosh, for the first time ever, I hope that by the time our episode drops on Thursday, everyone knows this story already, because these people need some help and they so deserve it. So, I hope that everybody gets on board and helps them out. These beautiful, beautiful people. Let's tell them who it is. Let's do it now. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Hang on, you're gone again. People can't hear you, and this is important. You broke it again. Steph, I swear to God, I was not even touching it. Daniel, this is really important. You have to know about this. We've met, well, I'd never met them before. I know that Emily had. The couple that we met today, the family of a victim in Melbourne. Oh, I swear to What's going on? Is it Emily's end? Is it Skype? Oh, talk again. No, I swear to God. Go again. No. I feel like one time when I had tinea, and you know when you can just scratch it just right? You know, and you've got the, it feels like that. Every now and then I just get that sweet spot where it's just, oh, it feels so good. Just wait. I know, right? Okay. Oh, technology sucks, right? Twiddle the knobs. Hang on. What could it possibly be? I swear to God. Shall I FaceTime you? How are we going to do this? Oh, gosh. Trust me. It's going to be worth it. Have you got your phone? Nod. Okay, cool. I can read your lips. Okay. Contacts. Emily. I've got her number. I've got Emily Webb's phone number, so whatever. FaceTime, whatever. I know her. It's no big deal. Oh!
Hello.
Oh, no. I don't know. Okay, shush. That one can shush now.
So
Right.
I've turned my my laptop off.
Yeah.
So I'll just watch what's going on. Cool.
I mean, this works.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is better.
It'll do.
Okay. Please tell them who we met today, or who we talked to.
So we talked to Carmel and Brian Russell, who are Natalie Russell's parents. Natalie Russell was murdered by Paul Denyer in Frankston, and Natalie was 17 and she was walking home from school and Paul Denyer brutally attacked her and murdered her. Now, Brian and Carmel are very proud people and they need our help. They're asking for help with something. Now, they're going to be talking to Neil Mitchell on Monday morning, which will be great. And tune in if you're in Melbourne. I think it's around 10 o'clock, but you'll also hear from them on our episode on Thursday. And, yeah, they're very, very wonderful people. And for them to come out publicly asking for help with something, they really do need it. So Vicky Petratus, who you all know is our wonderful podcast friend, and she has a lot to do with them, she gave us a heads up about this last week, and we're just trying to get the community to just rally around them and help them with something very important. I feel like I don't want to say too much, Michelle.
Yeah,
but
I know.
don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I really do, want everyone to know that they need help and that they're such sweet, obviously beautiful people, and they've been through just the worst you could imagine. And so I want everyone to listen to Neil Mitchell's show, and I've never said those words before in my life. But if you can, if you're in Melbourne on Monday morning, and if not, and all, just make sure you listen to our show on Thursday, and hopefully you can give and help these beautiful people. And today, when we were waving them off, they both said, and they both said, I suddenly feel optimistic, is what Brian said. I suddenly feel optimistic. I'm suddenly feeling hopeful. And I said, mate, this is going to happen. Nothing surer. So it was wonderful to see them both thinking, I think this is going to be okay. And totally going to be okay.
Some people are asking, is it because Denyer is eligible for parole soon? Look, it's not related to that exactly, but obviously that's always something in their life that they're, as long as they're alive, they say they're going to be there to speak for Natalie.
and they're just wonderful people. So it's not related to that, but it's something, you know, what happens to people when they become victims of crime? There's a cumulative effect, right? And when you hear their story, you know, this is, you know, life happens to people, but it just seems like a crueler blow to them.
You know what, Emily, also after you left today, I was saying to Mon, our producer, that it very much reminded me of the conversation that we uploaded today, your conversation with Sandra, Vicky Arnold's cousin, which I just loved. I got to edit that, and so I was listening to it. Oh, God, sorry, here comes a kitten. And I really loved that conversation so much. And you were talking about all the other things that are happening in life for the families while all of this stuff's going on, the court cases, the, coroner's hearings, the inquests and all that, all the other stuff that goes on that we just don't even think about, the expense, the stress, and all the things that those things bring about. It's like it's about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And just today when we did that interview, for me, it crystallised absolutely why doing this podcast is so special and why our listeners are so special and why, you know, what I love doing when I was a journalist and also, you know, in my day job I get to help people as well. And I just thought this is what life's about, you know. Look, we do lots of things, but this is where the power of the podcasting community comes in, I think. So I was really excited and I felt just really hopeful. I was sad when Vicky told me what was happening, but I feel really hopeful that something will happen and hopefully the right people will be listening who will just say, no, this can't happen. This isn't right, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It was wonderful. It was really also the sort of thing that helps you get out of your own self-pity. You know, if ever you're just having a bit of a whinge about any aspect of your own life, to meet people like that and suddenly just get energized about helping them. And, it was really, it was good. It was wonderful to meet them and to see them smiling when they left. And, it was great.
Just beautiful, down-to-earth, ordinary people who had this absolutely shocking thing happen. And so they're thrust into this position that you'd never want to be in, and they've been sort of forever linked with Denya, who, you know, can't even go there. But I don't know. And their son-in-law was there too, and he was a lovely man. And so they're a blended family. Both Brian and Carmel had kids from other marriages, and they came together and had Natalie and her younger brother, and they're just a really tight family unit.
Yeah, and didn't we have a lovely little while there where we were laughing about family life, and there was a great period of time where they were sharing memories about Natalie, and it was lovely. It was like
it was beautiful,
just daggy family stuff about teenagers, and it was like she was still here, and just about teenage girls and part-time jobs and teaching them to drive and all of that. It was this really lovely conversation. It was, because that's the thing too that I find, when you're talking to families of victims, of course it's hard to bridge that gap in the conversation, but if you can just start talking to them as normal people, which is not easy, it's hard and weird, but when you can start to just get into normal conversation, it's so rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah, just I know I was getting a bit hectic with my kids earlier on this evening, and going, come on, like just sort of getting really irritated about minor things, and I thought, hang on, that would, people who have awful things happen would love to have that opportunity to just be, just doing the normal day-to-day stuff with their kids again. And
that's
sort of gave me pause.
Remember when my kids were going on school camp last year, and they were in year 3, and it was like 2 nights at Anglesea or whatever, and they were both really stressed about it. And so I booked a caravan or cabin at the caravan park 2 doors down from the camp. And, of course, everyone thought I was crazy and couldn't believe it. But mind you, the day I got there, 4 other mums had done the same, so it wasn't that crazy. But I said to people, what really sealed it for me was one day we were really sort of back and forth about it. The kids were saying, oh, we don't want to go. And I was saying, oh, I don't know. I was too stressed. Didn't want to talk about it. I don't know. And then I came to record with you, and we ended up sitting there and talking to some lady whose young daughter had been murdered.
Yeah.
And I just got home from that and just went, oh, I'll just come. I'll just come to camp. I don't know. I don't care. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I don't care I don't care. Like, that lady would give anything to have another day with her daughter, you know? Like, if that's what my daughter wants me to do, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just, we do get to meet such incredible people, and we've just made a real little community for ourselves, haven't we? Because Vicky's like, contacts us and keeps us up to date with things, and she's got a lot of people, and it's just fantastic. So we really feel like we've got this community going of care, and it's nice to know that people want to ask us for help, because they know that we.
The couple that we spoke to today, Carmel and Brian, I was really struck in that moment how, Vicky wrote a book about the case, but here they are all these years later, still in touch. She's still looking out for them, still caring for them. Charlie Bazina was the lead detective on the case. He is still in touch with them, still very much part of their lives. They still speak to him often, as they speak to other detectives, other people who worked on the case. Neil Mitchell, obviously, still in touch with them. And, it's really heartening to know that that's happening, and that, the family are cared for by these people who work in the industry, if that makes sense,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I want to give a shout out to, without giving away what the episode's about, but to the wonderful Maria Lewis, who I have followed on Twitter for a really long time. Maria is a journalist and also a young adult author. Some people may have read some of her books. In fact, she gave Michelle and I one of them today, The Witch Who Courted Death. But Maria writes like fantasy horror stuff. She's so cool. And so she was in the studio today along with a very special guest that she brought with her. And I think people are going to really love it when they hear it, aren't they, Michelle?
Oh, wonderful. Gosh, what a day. Yes. Magical. Yes, and we're definitely going to have a return of those two. Yeah. Wonderful guests. Speaking of wonderful guests, Steph asks, what did we think of Detective Chief Inspector Gary Jubilan being taken off the William Tyrrell case and then resigning? He was also on the Barraville case of the 3 Indigenous children. I'm glad you asked, Steph, because I am in touch with former Detective Chief Inspector Gary Jubilan, and he is tentatively considering chatting with Emily and I, so fingers crossed. Obviously, he's only resigned in the last week, so I'm sure he's, got a lot on his mind, and I'm sure he's trying to come down to earth from his resignation, which seems sudden to me, but I won't put words in his mouth. And as I said to him earlier this week, I'm sure if he's not, probably someone in his family is trying to get him to take a holiday.
Yeah.
And, but hopefully we will speak to him very soon, because whatever happened with that case, he has certainly had a stellar career. And, I hope there are many celebrations planned and many people like us wanting to celebrate his career with him. So, what a wonderful career. Incredible investigator. So hopefully we'll speak to him soon. Kick D says she or he finally reviewed our podcast. Why it took so long, I have no idea. Where did you review it? I would love to read that. I'm assuming it was a positive review.
I hope. Yeah. Sometimes we get those 1-star reviews, don't we?
I know, right?
Yeah.
What's that about? Somebody mentioned that further up, Emily, because I did pop a tiny mention in the episode that I uploaded this morning, your chat with Sandra, to say, if you've got a minute, would you mind giving us a nice review of 5 stars, because we are getting some negative reviews because of our acknowledgement of the traditional owners of the land upon which we record, which is weird to me, but God knows a lot of weird shit's happened to me lately, so I don't know where to even start.
That's right. Anthony was great on the chat last week. I can see some returning people from when I was chatting last week, and Anthony's asking how you're doing, Michelle. Just listen to your chat with Robert McKnight, and asking about you and your work with Save the Children.
Oh, thank you. I'm doing well, except last weekend when I found myself in the emergency ward with my mum, who almost blew her hand off with a soda stream, as you know, just before we did this. And I had to run out that back door there and take her to emergency. I did have a bit of a PTSD reaction, I swear. And so just earlier today I was talking to a person about that, and she was like, mate, I think maybe it's time for you to seriously get some counselling. So I'm looking into that for sure this week. Yes, I think it is time. So thank you very much. Just as I thought, I'm pulling it together.
You've had a lot going on.
I sure have. But Save the Children, I mean, could you work at a better place? Could I work at a place where I'm more supported and surrounded by kind people? It's just the best. It's the best. I love it very much. So, yeah, lucky me. Just on the app. Oh, thank you, Kick D. So Kick just reviewed us on the app. Thank you so much. As requested, thank you so much. Yeah, the acknowledgement is normal these days. I don't know why anyone can still be offended.
Absolutely. I write it, I do a lot of speech writing in my day job, and it's, a really important part of any speech you write for official things.
It's on a lot of people's emails too, and I keep thinking, I should do that. A lot of people make that their email signature now, don't they?
Yep.
Should do that.
They do.
Yeah, I know people say it's lefty. It's like, oh God.
Yeah. It's like, I just find it weird how people think that's like a bit of a slur to give people being a lefty. I mean, I was at my younger daughter is making her communion this year, at the Catholic school, and so part of that we go to mass on a Saturday night, right? So, and I actually find it, funnily, look, I as you know, Michelle, when everything was happening with the Catholic Church this year, I was having a bit of a meltdown, because you grow up in the church and I like the rituals of it, but I just was completely just shocked, and just all the stuff is so traumatizing, I think, for ordinary people who just want to go about their day going to mass and trying to be a good, good person. Yeah. And tonight there was this lovely, lovely man from Vinnie's who organises in our area. They do the Vinnie's appeal, and he goes to schools, and my kids' school does a mini Vinnie's where the kids all get together. And he was saying tonight that last week in 2 days they went and helped 9 families. This is just in our little area, who had really significant, needs and issues they were dealing with. A lot of, people with homelessness, family violence. And I think, they said the need is just growing and growing. And, they're asking blankets and toiletry items and stuff, which is fine. But just that really 9 people in 2 days, 9 families,
Listen,
not just people.
Yeah, can I tell you, a huge part of Save the Children Australia's budget is spent on Australian programs. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and a lot of people still imagine that that's all about Indigenous people, by the way. Yeah. It's not. It's not. It's, it's proportionate to the population. I mean, Indigenous people make up a tiny part of our population, and it's proportionate to that. We have a lot of people in our population who are struggling, who are under pressure, and who need assistance. And, of course, a lot of them are ashamed to ask for help. And our statistics when it comes to violence against children, the statistics when it comes to children who die in their own homes are very high in comparison to the rest of the world, certainly in the developed world. Like our homicide rates, this report just came out during the week or maybe 2 weeks ago. Homicide rates in Australia are fairly kind of static, but is it filicide, I think it's called?
Yes.
Filicide rates have increased, and they're very high compared to the rest of the world. So that to me doesn't say shit parents, rat bags, whatever. That to me says people under pressure, people who don't know how to parent, people who need help.
Yeah. Well, that that dreadful accident, was it earlier this week?
Yes.
The mum and the 4 kids. My mum came over today and she goes, "Oh, that accident was like a murder-suicide, they think. Like, into the truck."
Oh, yeah, I'm reading a lot of stuff about that. Police are investigating, some really troubling circumstances around that. But I do know that there are a lot of programs around the country. There's a lot of people in need.
Yeah, it is. And I know just within my just in all your different circles, and you're just chatting to your friends, and like you talk about just things that are going on, and mental health struggles are massive for people. Like so many people, just going about their day and just trying to to manage, and pressures with jobs and money and paying the bills, and it all just accumulates, doesn't it?
Yeah. And so somebody just said on our feed here that some people are complaining about me pushing my political views through the podcast and that I should explain my views. Well, I kind of just have really. I mean, those are my political views, that we just need to take care of people. It's really that simple. I don't care who does it, or so if that makes me a lefty, then I'm a lefty. But I just think that we should put people ahead of everything else, and we should take care of people, and we should make sure we have services in place, and that's the most important thing, and that costs money, and money should be spent on those things, services and things that support people.
And there should be and Glenn, thank you for that comment, because people say that we're trying to push agendas on listeners. We're not. Michelle and I are quite we have got a lot in common, but we're also we've got different interests, different experiences and stuff, but I just feel like fundamentally exactly the same. You've just got to try and look after people, and it can be a bipartisan approach. Why does it have to always be party specific? Why can't it just be, let's look after the community? I don't know. That's just what I think, but that's probably why I'll never go into politics. And
same.
I really love it tonight. Just listening to this man from the Vinnies.
Yeah.
But there's so many. There are so many people like that trying to do good stuff in communities all over Australia. And, people, just ordinary people, I know that there's a bit of heat about churches and religion, but I know we're in the Catholic school system, and, oh, my God, the Catholics have got massive problems, but then there's just these people who are just going about putting on the morning teas to raise money for the social justice groups, to send money to East Timor and cities, and I think it's just awesome. Everyone just wants to do their bit.
Last week, 3 days after the election, I went and spoke at a Turak ladies fundraising lunch, and they were hardcore franking credits.
Yeah,
big end of town old ladies, and they were magic.
Raising lots of money.
They were magic, and they were the kindest ladies, and they were so kind to me, and I was feeling pretty low that day because, I was feeling just embarrassed, just the biggest idiot in the world. I lost a lot of work. I had people having to ring me up for days saying, "I'm so sorry, Michelle, we can't have you in our thing anymore because of your tweet." And I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing, and I'm such an idiot. And then I've got to go to Turak, and I'm thinking these ladies are going to hate me, and I rang ahead to say, do they still want me to come? And they were like, yeah, I don't care. They're rich. I don't care. I don't care. And they were just so kind and so beautiful. And yeah, these are women who fund these programs. These are women who hear about a school somewhere where kids don't come, and they buy a bus.
Yeah.
And they buy a driver, fund a driver, and they hear about a school where kids are coming with no breakfast, and they put on a breakfast and fund it for 20 years. And obviously, and they were teasing me like crazy about their election win, but in such a great way, and that's just real people, just good real people. And they just really fixed it for me. So in such a great way, in terms of just taking me out of myself and making me feel just cared for, and that I was with kind ladies. They were just really kind to me. And one of them won a scarf in the raffle and gave it to me, Margaret.
Oh, nice.
She said, Michelle, I want you to have it. And I said, Margaret, I can't. And she said, you must. And they were beautiful. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah, no, it's good. People are good.
Yeah.
People are good.
Yeah. Well, it's that thing of like, you and I do this podcast, and you learn just so much about the truth of like how youth offenders, how their brains develop and stuff like that. There's some stuff you learn over the journey that you can't ignore, you can't pretend you don't know, And these ladies are the same. There's just like over the journey of their involvement with charities, they just learn stuff they can't pretend they don't know. So they're smart, they're hooked in, they know what they know, but they still want their franking credits, and that's that's their business. That's fine.
That's it.
But it's not like they don't give back,
Yep. And Glenn, thank you. No, your question, Glenn, was a great conversation starter. So thank you. I apologise for putting it up. It's great.
Because you're right. People do accuse me of that all the time, like having, Elaine on to talk about the African gangs and all that. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, oh, come on, we can't get further than that. Like we gave everyone their go, didn't we, to say what they wanted to say. And you're right, Glenn. You're right. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's good.
Mm. Oh, what's that language?
Lebes Magina. We had, funnily enough, did you notice when I was talking last week, we had a couple of cheeky people come on who were being a bit...
Did I?
A bit rudies, and Zoe was blocking them for me.
I thought Zoe was being rude. I thought, you jealous bitch. Emily's pulled.
Yeah, from a guy with a really gross handle for a name. I was like, Saturday night.
I know, because I was sitting in the emergency room at Sunshine Hospital. I was so jealous. I thought, ooh, Emily's pulled.
Mate, it'd be probably the only been a while since I've pulled. Obviously, because I'm married, of course.
Of course.
But, I
was jealous. I thought,
Lithuanian.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, of course we'll bring back Narelle Whooplot. It's just that she needs a rest every now and then. And
she's very busy.
Yeah, she's got a lot of live gigs, don't forget. Like, Narelle is busy as hell. She's a superstar.
Oh, do you know what, Michelle? I help my mum is so funny. She's like, can you help me book tickets for the Ronniddle show in Yarraville? In October we're doing the shows at Yarraville.
Yes, we haven't really publicised them yet, but yes, we are.
Oh, we haven't.
No, we can. We can.
So anyway, so that's on the 19th, I think. Anyway, Charlie and Ron are doing some shows, and so I booked my mum some tickets for her and her friends.
Great. Did you pay for them?
I did.
You didn't have to pay. Emily, you didn't have to pay.
I know, but I was like,
Okay. You didn't have to pay for them.
Well, actually, my mum paid for them. But funnily enough, my mum actually couldn't get tickets to our shows in June.
Right.
They're so popular. And don't we have something happening with Patreon at all?
I think we do have a giveaway, yes, on Patreon. We have a few tickets left because we kept some aside in case our guests wanted their families to come, or we wanted our families, or whatever. So now that's kind of settled down, and we will have a giveaway on Patreon of some tickets that the leftover tickets basically to those shows at Chapel of Chapel. But we do also have some more shows coming up at the Yarraville Club in October, and I think they're on sale.
Yeah, they're absolutely on sale now. So you go to Yarraville Live, I think, is the website, .com.au, and that'll be cool because, Michelle, you've been on at that club, haven't you, before?
It's run by a very good friend of mine, Matt Hardy, and they do lots of comedy there. The Doug Anthony All-Stars do gigs there, and I've done lots of gigs there. I did book launches there last year. It's a great room. You can have a few drinkies, have a dinner or a lunch. We're doing a lunchtime gig there as well. If you're like me and love a matinee, then it's for you. And we have
we know you don't like going out at night.
Hate it. But Charlie Bazina, Handsome Charlie, is going to come and do a gig with us, and Ron Iddles, the boss, the big man, is doing another one just there.
Yeah, it'll be great. I think, because I remember you saying that they've been wanting us to come and do stuff for ages.
Yes, before I had the confidence, before I even had the confidence to suggest it to you, Matt Hardy, who runs it, was saying to me, "You got to do live shows." And I was like, "What, live true crime? How would you even do that?"
Yeah.
And he was right. And we are. So, yeah.
Well, I think I noticed that there's a little bit more stuff happening. I certainly know overseas it goes really well, but I mean, the way those tickets sold out so quickly in June, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it.
Well, I'm sure Matt was the person who talked Rosie Waterland into doing live shows.
Okay.
When she was obviously, is a great writer, and then she started podcasting, and he sort of, had this vision. Grant, he's quite a visionary, had this great vision of her turning that into live work, and ever since then it's been his mission to get us all to turn our podcasts into live shows. And I was like, but that's comedy. Like, she's funny, and then it's, she's got great emotional range. This is crime. How would we do that? But it finally got to me, so it's happening. Yeah. And obviously Ron and Charlie, do lots of corporate work, so they're confident. And Narelle. And
Andrew Rule, I cannot wait.
I know. Oh my God. I know.
You know so how exciting. I feel about Andrew Rule.
Same. Oh my gosh. I know. Yeah. I know. I'd like to marry him, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Keith Moore, who I love, is just retired. So remember I was saying that last week.
Yep.
So he's my crime guru. There's a bit of hecticness going on in these comments, Michelle. I think there's a few naughty
oh, thank God.
trolls.
Okay, great. I thought you were the only one who was going to get some action.
Oh boy.
Oh God. I don't know. Where is Zoe? Maybe she's off tonight. I don't know.
She's probably like, "Oh, girls, what are you doing? You can't even get it together. How embarrassing."
Well, we've only got a few minutes left anyway, so.
Yeah, and I'll be getting back in the car to go and pick my kid up from a party. Yay!
Yay! I'm sure Louis will want to be fed again. He's one of those guys. I'm starving.
Yeah. It's we need to appoint a moderator. I think there's this guy who's really creepy as hell on this.
That's a great idea, Woodblot. Make some of the commenters we know a mod. Would you want to be it? I'm just asking. I mean, I don't know. We're kind of new to this whole game, so yeah.
Yeah, it's all very. I'm going to see if I can actually get on and block them out myself.
But also, we can just kind of ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, you Woodblot. Okay, cool. Done. You're hired.
Yeah.
I've got to fly in here. God, this is the worst TV show I've ever seen in my life. But, oh, God. Sorry. That was a kitten. Nobody panic. I've still got the 7 kittens who were supposed to be fosters, but.
Oh, yeah. You can't possibly keep 7 kittens, though, can you?
Well, where are they going? I mean, no one's banging down my door to adopt these kittens. The RSPCA is still giving them away for free, Emily. Like, they've spent hundreds of dollars on all of these kittens and they're giving them away for free.
I know. It's because the cats, they just breed so much.
It's climate change, right? It is, I swear to God, it's climate change. It's because the summers are so much longer now. They're breeding longer.
And people just let them, all the strays, they just, I don't know, they get rid of,
Right.
the cats, and they just roam. And
Yeah.
do you know what I've been seeing a lot lately when I've been walking the dog? Foxes. And they're big. Where I live, they're big, and they just stand there and stare at my dog.
Oh,
And
really?
I have a greyhound, so she is like hyper alert to anything that's like so far away.
Yeah.
And these foxes are just bold as brass, and they just wander around.
Yeah, we've got a lot in Altona too, and they do. I've never had one stand and stare, but I've had them trot past and give me a jaunty, how you going?
Yeah,
A bit like
right.
these guys in our feed. How you going? That sort of
They're
guy.
just massive.
They are. And my friend Donna, who was a vet nurse, she says they're not cute when you look at them up close. We have this fantasy that they're kind of cute. But she said people used to bring them into the vet surgery and they were like, oh, they're not cute.
They're kind of,
they're mangy.
I used to see them a lot in London when I lived in London as well. In fact, when I was, when I just had my daughter, like oldest daughter over there, and so hyper sensitive to anything. And I think there was a story about a fox walking into someone's house, like in London, and just getting near the baby's cot.
Or was it? I remember seeing a country. It was kind of in the country in England, yeah, and it went up the stairs.
That's it.
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
Actually, no, it would have been a few years after I had my daughter, but I just remember thinking that's horrifying.
It's like those snakes in Queensland. It's like every 2 or 3 years they go into the toddler's room and there's a snake like on the shelf next to the cot.
Yeah, it's too scary.
Yeah, we shouldn't have children. That's the lesson there. Having children is too scary.
Very hard.
Just ruins life for wildlife.
I am fascinated, right, because I don't watch a lot of YouTube, but my kids do. I'm just fascinated by these people who come onto the live streams and, like, how do people find the live streams to actually get in and be a bit crazy on it? Do you know what I mean? I don't understand.
I know. Well, Louis thinks everyone's a bot. Like, even the other day I was texting him. I can't remember what I was texting him. And he asked me if I was a bot. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm texting you to ask you if you want a sandwich or whatever when I'm coming to pick you up. I'm asking, why would I be a bot? So he's like hyper vigilant about bots. He thinks everyone's a bot.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, so you're right. How do people find our videos and then get in here to be weirdos?
Yeah, I just don't get it. I mean, why would you want to spend your time doing that?
Old man Bob says, I'm a bot.
But he also said he babysits for free, so I'm not I'm not sure about this. I don't know.
Oh, my goodness.
Aiden, Narelle Fraser series in development. Is there any movement? We're not sure about that. We'll have to catch up with Narelle soon. Yeah,
because I think there's so many people who just want to be in development with Narelle.
Yeah. We had a chat about this morning, didn't we, with Maria, who has got a lot of experience in getting her stuff, in development, and sometimes it stays in development.
Story of my life, girl. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, she's so, it is frustrating. That's showbiz, right? Like, Narelle is so obvious to all of us. We all go, why isn't Narelle on TV? Why isn't there a TV show that's just called Narelle? And we just follow her and we just tell her stories, I know, it's so frustrating, and it feels like every day we move forward in Australia, great shows become less and less likely because most of us are watching Netflix. And that impacts on the budgets, And so they're much more likely to be making cheap game shows with Grant Denyer than making things that cost a bit of money where we're sort of reenacting Narelle's great cases and things that take some time and take some energy and take some money, because the fact is they might make it and we might kind of miss that it's on because we're all glued to Netflix.
Yeah.
It's getting harder.
I was thinking about how I used to watch TV. Now I can only sort of watch one series at a time.
Yeah.
It's just how I roll at the moment. I can't sort of deal with too much else. And I used to watch TV all the time, but I don't know. There's something about I know it sounds weird, but I used to do it with LA Law. Like when I used to watch LA Law, and I remember just hanging out week to week for the episode. I loved that show.
Same.
And then, like, you know, Prime Suspect, or even there was a really great show on the ABC. Do you remember when they'd make shows like GP? Do you remember that show?
Yes, yes.
I love it because they actually did an extremely important episode once. It actually had Peter Phelps in it. It was about male rape.
Wow.
And I can remember, sorry to bring this up, it just made me think, but it was actually a very bold thing to cover at the time on Australian television. And I remember it. It was very sensitively done and powerfully done. And, yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss those days of, like, the free-to-air just hanging out week to week for stuff. I just don't know what's going on with free-to-air. I don't keep up with it. I don't really watch it.
Which is why they're not making anything great.
Yeah.
These guys are mentioning Janus, Phoenix.
Oh, yes, Phoenix
Remember
and
those
Janus.
great shows?
Amazing.
So
Jeffrey
great.
Rush was in one of those, wasn't he? Phoenix.
I can't
He
remember.
was set in a newsroom.
I can't remember, but yeah, great shows. But, you know, they're really expensive to make. And so, unfortunately, the more it's this terrible cycle, isn't it? That the less they make them, the more addicted we become. The less we go looking for them on free-to-air TV, the more we just don't even bother and we just go straight to Netflix. You know, or even iTunes or whatever. And so the less they make them, it's getting really crook. And then I know, you know, you see so much great drama still being made in the UK, but their population's so huge. So we're sort of victims of our small population. And I feel like increasingly we've just got no faith, and so we don't go looking, do we?
No, that's true. And it's I watch a lot of SBS, I have to admit.
Yeah.
Like, I watch a hell of a lot of SBS.
Wentworth, Anthony, Wentworth, you're so right. That is such a breakthrough, isn't it? Like, it's like really a standout at the moment. It's like, people, we do go looking for Wentworth, and it's incredible. All female cast virtually. It should not work, but it so does. It's amazing.
Do you remember, Michelle, when we spoke about if we were in Wentworth and, like, what positions we'd have in the jail hierarchy? Do you remember that?
I remember I'd be top dog.
You would be top dog, and you'd have to protect me because I reckon I would not survive in there.
I don't know. Maybe it could be the other way around. Maybe your diplomacy.
I'd be like Liz, I reckon. I'd be Liz, just trying to, like, irritate. I love Liz, but she sort of just was in everyone's business all the time.
Yeah, but that's cool. Like, she's also, people like her and she's diplomatic, and, you know, maybe I'd just be shivved real quick. You know?
Oh, my God.
I don't know, mate. It's so hard. It's like watching Big Brother, you know? You always think to yourself, I don't know, would I be top 3 or would I be Vesna and just, like, I don't know, drive everyone crazy and just be kicked out real quick? Don't know. Don't know.
And Miss Vanjie on season 10 of RuPaul.
I love Miss Vanjie so much.
Miss
Vanjie. Yeah, I do love her.
Oh, yeah. It's good times. Well, I'm going to have to sign off in a minute. I've got to get back in the car to go and get my child.
It's pick-up time.
Yeah, that's it.
Did I watch the project? Did I do the project tonight? No, this is my own creation. Thank you so much. This is my own makeup. Makeup is my hobby. It's makeup, true crime, Buddhism. Save the children. That's my
Can you
life.
do my makeup for the live shows, Michelle?
I'm not very good at doing other people's. I
Those look so good.
Bit to try. I mean, or we could do it together. It's pretty simple. Like, it's really just, I'm just looking at my gear. This is like
the eyeshadows
4 things. It's like 4 things. It's like, and I'm using a very cheap, cat knocked it down, but I'm using a very cheap foundation at the moment. It's a Revlon. I mean, it's from Priceline. Yeah, and really good coverage.
What's the eyeshadow? Your eyeshadow, because it's a good brown.
The shadow is a MAC. I like a MAC shadow because it's got a lot of pigment.
Yeah.
But everything else is pretty Priceline-y.
Yep. I had a bit of a buy up at Chemist Warehouse the other day of stuff. Yeah.
So, you know,
Flower, actually, Drew Barrymore's
Perfume?
cosmetic line is sold in Chemist Warehouse. It's good.
I don't know much about that. Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
hearing you.
Flower.
Flower.
Yeah, I quite like it. And by the way, we're not getting paid for any of these recommendations. This is hashtag no influencers.
But happy to. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, really happy to.
Oh my God. Oh, Belinda Ellison said, oh no, Steph says this live has everything. I kind of feel like this is how Michelle and I talk,
Yeah.
like when we're together. So it's kind of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
This is in between the guests. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. And then in between it's all sort of, you know, cosmetics and these various
Kids
kind of things and picking up
family.
kids and and then it's straight back into it. So
Yep.
I love these Saturday nights so much. Thank you so much for joining us. They're super fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
It is winter here right now. Jack, where are you, lovey? You're up north. Ireland. Oh,
Ireland.
nice.
Yay. I love Ireland.
I was on ABC tonight. Was I, Catherine? What was I doing? Oh,
What were you doing, Michelle?
I don't want to know. Oh, God. Specs and Specs from 1990. It can't be from 1990. I was in year 12. Take it easy. I'm not that old. Oh, Big Jacko's great, darling. Maya wants to know how Big Jacko is. He's around. I think he's taken himself to bed, but he's great. Thank you. He's good. That's my dog. Not my husband, in case you're wondering. Oh, it's freezing in Ireland. Cool. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good
But,
stuff.
yeah, stay tuned for Thursday's episode, and also, yeah, listen up to the Radio 3AW on Monday to hear from Carmel and Brian, Russell, and yeah, let's really get behind them. So I can't wait for you to hear it.
Yes, and hopefully we'll have a really great update for you next Saturday night. I really think we will. I said that to them today. I said, this is going to be sorted in a week. I tell you, I know how this shit goes, and this is going to go well. It's going to go well and fast. So, yes, we'll talk to you about it next Saturday. I love these Saturdays. Thank you so much, everyone.
No problem. See ya.
Bye.
See you, everyone. Bye.
Okay, ready and stream.
Bye.